To prepare an initial cadre of high-quality ECCE teachers in Anganwadis, current Anganwadi workers teachers will be trained through a systematic effort in accordance with the curricular pedagogical framework developed by NCERT. NCERT workers teachers with qualifications 10+2 and above shall be given a 6-month certificate program in ECCE. And those with lower educational qualifications shall be given a 1-year diploma program covering early literacy, numeracy, and other relevant aspects of ECCE. The programs will be run through digital distance mode using DTH channels, as well as smartphones, allowing teachers to acquire ECCE qualifications with minimal disruption to their current work. The ECCE training of Anganwadi workers will be mentored by cluster resource centers of the School Education Department, which shall hold at least 1 monthly contact class for continuous assessment. In long term, the state government shall prepare cadres of professionally qualified educators for early childhood care and education through stage-specific professional training, mentoring mechanisms, and career mapping. To effectively implement this, first, you have to have the infrastructure. कित्याक तूं मोबायलाचेर शिकयतले तांकां, you will do it through the internet. हे अंगणवाडी टिचर सामके गरीब आहात थोडे, तांकां पगार येता ते इतले उणी येता आनी तांकां एसो मोबायल अप टू डेट मोबायल तसो ना. ते बाबडे कितें कोत्तले, तांकां टॅब पासून ना, मोबायल फोन सोड, थोडे मोबायल ते ओन्ली प्रेस बटन तसो मोबायल आसात. How will you implement this? Because this is your foundational stage and this is what is required to make your entire, if your foundation is not good, your entire structure will collapse. Now, second part of it is, NCERT brought out National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage. So my question directly is, what steps has the government taken? Because in 2022, NCERT or book or 2022, National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage, and it gives entire thing, and it's quite fair, you can see this, complete details and the breakdown how these people should have done. Now we are in 2024. What kind of steps you have taken to implement it? You're already rushing to implement 9th and 10th right now, but what have you done so far in respect of what NEP, NCF for foundational stage speaks about? The second aspect is, when I pointed out of these 4 stages, I'm talking about the secondary stage, which is class 9 to 12. In class 9 to 12, we speak about, I will just give this page. This is of NEP. I'll just read that. The curricular pedagogical structure of school education will be reconfigured to make it responsive to relevant development. Now, paragraph 4.2, I'm reading 4.2. The middle stage, in the secondary stage, that's the last paragraph which is there in NEP document. Please see that page 11. Do you get that? The secondary stage will comprise of 4 years of multidisciplinary study building on subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular style of the middle stage, but with greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspiration, greater flexibility of students and choice of subjects. I'm on this aspect of it. We're also talking, NEP speaks about clusters, and the clusters of these schools will be in groups. Now, when you speak of clusters, I'll pass this page. And this is important because there's a target date of 2025. We are already 2024 entered, and we have not done anything on this aspect. 7.5, these challenges will by 2025 be addressed by the state UT governments by adopting innovative mechanism to group or rationalize schools. The objective behind this intervention would be to ensure the school has adequate number of counselors, trained social workers and teachers, shared or otherwise, for teaching all subjects including art, music, science, sports, languages, vocation subjects, etc., adequate resources. I'll go to the next one. Next paragraph, 7.6. One possible mechanism for accomplishing the above would be the establishment of a grouping structure called school complex, consisting of one secondary school together with others. Schools offering low grades in neighboring, including Anganwadi, in a radius of 5 to 10. And the next para, 7.7, please look at that. It speaks about clusters, what I was speaking about. If you speak about the clusters, how are you going to manage these clusters? Because, please see para 7.6. One possible mechanism in a company would be the establishment of a grouping structure called a school complex consisting of one secondary so and so and so. Please look at the last sentence of this paragraph. The aim of the school complex cluster will be greater resource efficiency and effective functioning, coordination, leadership, governance, and management of schools in this cluster. My focus is on this management. The individuality of each school will then get lost. You will be faced with problems and litigations relating to the rights of the minorities, which is guaranteed in Article 29 and 30. Because the moment you are taking over control of these institutions, it will conflict. Because it is non-minorities institutions, not a problem. And then...
Speaker, sir, point of order. वो स्टेटमेंट करून लोकांच्या मदीं कन्फ्युजन क्रिएट करपाचो प्रॉब्लेम आसा. वी हॅव ऑलरेडी क्लियर्ड आमकां खंयचेच स्कूल टेक ओवर करपाचें ना आनी मायनॉरिटी स्कूल टेक ओवर करपाचो हो जो स्टेटमेंट पर्टिक्युलरली करून कॅटेगरिकली वीच वील क्रिएट द डाउट in the mind of the institution, management of the institution of the minority school.
Please don't, I have not made a statement of takeover. I'm not saying,
no,
I'm not suggesting.
Particularly you are saying, that's why categorically, that's why our point of order.
No, I will explain
our
what it is.
Our intention is not there. आम्ही कोणाचेच management घेयना आणि आम्ही clustered सुद्धा in phased manner. It is not now. त्या खातीर आम्ही सांगला it will take time. But आम्ही तशे जर म्हणून जर रावले असत जाल्यार it will take म्हणजे will miss the bus म्हणटा पळय न्ही तशें जातलें.
No, I think the Honorable Chief Minister has got it wrong. Article 29 and 30 speaks of a right of a minority to establish and administer. These two words are concomitant. You can't establish and not administer. Or if you have not established, you are simply administering, you don't get that protection. That's why the two words are concomitant. So, it is not takeover. But if the administration, if you can't administer because of this cluster, this is what I'm asking you to think about. I'm not saying you are taking over. Please don't understand that in that way. There will be a conflict which you will realize what I'm saying will work out when it starts being implemented. Because you will have to have a cluster head. Please look at it in 7.8. The governance of the school will improve and become far more efficient with the school complex cluster. First, the DSE will devolve authority to the school complex cluster, which will act as a semi-autonomous unit. The district education officer and the block education officers will interact primarily with the school, each school complex cluster as a single unit and facilitate. That is what I'm talking of. Administer, where that part will come in a conflict. Please understand this. I'm not suggesting for a moment, I even said I think that this is a good concept of NEP, but in its implementation in this context, you may face problems. So you have to please answer and take care of these situations when you are going to handle this part of cluster. So please don't think that I made this statement. I never even used the words takeover. As far as NCF, National Curriculum Framework, and that is NCRF, I think the department is making a big mistake of bringing NCRF into our education system. Our NEP at page 17 speaks about NCF, and I will give that page. This is a copy. I'll just pass that. Okay, and I'll just pass this entire set so that you can just have it quickly. Please look at page 17 of NEP. It speaks about the formulation of new and comprehensive national curricular framework for school education, NCFSE 2021, will be undertaken by NCRT based on the principles of the National Education Policy, frontline curriculum needs, and after discussion all stakeholders, including state governments, ministries, etc., etc. The NCRT has now come out with NCF for school education in 2023. Now, if this has come in 2023 and the other one, which is called National Credit Framework, NCRF, came in 2022, that applies to CBSE schools. But what I think the department did, they thought that this is the one which we need to follow. And they started programming and devising things under NCRF and pulling out parts from it which doesn't fit within NCF. And then, in fact, there was a letter from the ministry, a secretary from the ministry who said, you use this as a model, but it is not obligatory. The moment 2023 NCF comes into force, you have a complete book on how to go about with syllabus, hours, structures. I think the department should relook at this and work this out. Otherwise, it's creating the mess, and this will be the problem which will take place. Now, please look at NEP page 4.30, para 4.30. I will give that also. I'll just. Honorable Speaker, in this 430 I've already read. 431 is, there's one more thing which is to be done under this new NEP, load reduction. They speak of reduction of load and reduction of content and increased flexibility of schools, that is in 4.31 of the same page which I've given you. And if this is going to be the manner in which it has to go, then how can you, without the textbooks being given, they have given the National Curriculum Framework, Mata textbook katle. Now textbook speaks about reduced load. Even NCF speaks about reduced load. I will just show you this, where it is speaking of reduced load. So if you are talking of reduction of load, then you cannot have the same syllabus which they are telling teachers to continue. There is a problem about these hours of timings. NEP speaks about 29 hours per week. And what is happening is, our institutions which are being given, they have 180 days of instruction time. And in 180 days, they have got 29 hours of instruction. And so 34 weeks into 29 hours becomes 986 hours. Under our school education rules, they speak of 5.5 hours every day, which becomes 21 hours, and the schools are made to work 33 hours. We have to reduce that 33 to 29 to bring it in accord with the NEP. In fact, there is a circular which has been issued by the Director of Education on 31st of March. And this circular, unfortunately, I'll just pass this circular, asks the schools and institutions to follow that Rule 20, just says Rule 20, which speaks about this 21 hours, and therefore I think you are going against the NEP on this. So if your syllabus is going to be reduced, another 3 minutes, please. There is something known as 10 begless days, Honorable Speaker. In 10 bagless days, they are speaking how children will not bring a bag to school. And if you are going to have this 10 bagless days and have this timetable, they will never have bagless days, they will not even see their house. They'll be only in the schools from morning to evening. 10 bagless days is spoken in NCF at page 139. Now, Honourable Speaker, after these NEP issues are concerned, I had also spoken to the Secretary, and the Secretary said to me that we can have a meeting, but I told him one thing with clarity: if the meeting is being held, let it be held with all the stakeholders, not one-to-one, because I've got nothing personal, I don't run an institution, and I have no interest in this.
Speaker sir, point of order. Honorable member जे उलोवन वता पळय ते रिकॉर्डाचेर वयतले म्हणून हांव उठून उबो रावलो, नाल्यार हांव उलोवचो नाशिल्लो, हांव मागीर उलयतलो आशिल्लो लास्टाक. तांच्यांनी जे नॅशनल क्रेडीट फ्रेमवर्काचेर ते उलयतात. We have received a letter on the 27th of December 2023 from the Government of India, from Education Ministry of the Sanjay Kumar, Secretary.
I've said that one. That's the same one I referred.
Yeah.
Which says it is as a guidelines. Please see the first page. First page.
Yeah.
Correct. I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's why I know it. And I said it. But that was when any NCF 2023 was not there. That's why NCF 2023 came, because that whole thing refers to NCRF. Please understand this.
ना क्लियर ना तसो विषय तुम्ही म्हणटा तसो ना तो तुम्ही क्रेडीट फ्रेमवर्काचेर जे उलयता पळय
That is NCRF, National Credit Framework.
हय.
See this. Immediately next page, framework guidelines for implementing a national credit framework, NCRF. That is different. There's a total different book on that. That's why I said I don't mind sitting with them and ironing it out. It's not that I have an institution, I don't have a school, but I can help because finally it's the future of the students in the institutions.
Speaker sir, it is a clear-cut guideline, and according to the guideline we are going ahead. तांकां जरी कितें confusion आसत न्ही जाल्यार हांव क्लियर करून दिता तांकां.
Now, after this implementation of the NEP, Honorable Speaker, the vocational courses म्हणून आहा आनी आमगे भुरगे भरपूर vocational course करतात, भायर वतात. पण आतां vocational courses बंद जातले because under this structure vocational courses नासतले. So what will be the future and the fate of students who want to take this? What will be the fate of the teachers already employed for vocational courses? I think the government may kindly answer on this. Please, just little, this is something little important. There is Samagra Shiksha Teachers. Samagra Shiksha Teachers is a central government scheme. This is implemented by the state government. And these people are providing instruction in health and physical education, art education, work education. They are on contract for more than 10 to 12 years. They are called part-time teachers. They work from 7:45 a.m. till 1:45 p.m. Para teachers are getting 40,000 per month. Contract teachers are getting 39,000. These people are getting 25,000, no sick leave. There's a Government of India letter of 23rd April 2024, where they say that this recruitment, appointment, and everything is in the hands of the state government. Why didn't you bring out some rules so as to appoint them and give them permanent status? There is another major issue which I want to speak about is coaching institutes. आमगे NEP म्हणटात coaching institutes काडपाचे, so people don't have to go there, आनी पयशे भरपा नाका. But I have seen that, and it has been brought to my notice, there are these coaching institutes which have come from out, and some have started here, who call integrated classes. Integrated model, to coaching classes are gel zale to iskla bospana. How do you accept these kind of things, where people pay lakhs of rupees? If you want to provide coaching in your school, my school, no problem. Provide for all the students. Don't give it only for those who can afford. This is the problem which is happening. And then only those few, then you have newspaper advertisement, this school, this institute, somebody scored. Just another 2 minutes, I'll just finish it up. No, just 2 minutes more. There is one more aspect. And so that's what happens. This is a backdoor entry. To me, permission dilat for some of these institutes. They function at one place and they operate at another place. I don't want to name them because I have nothing against anyone, but this is how it's going on. Non-grant of NOC for regular posts. Honorable Chief Minister, I had come to you regarding this non-grant. There is a sanction strength, there is availability. So automatically the director should have given. It's not like a favor we should come and ask. It was not being given over the years. We don't require to keep on going again and again here and there. But on the sanction strength, you're not getting the NOC. You told me you'll send to the department. What happens thereafter? Department sends it to the school and says, you apply next academic year. Next academic year they apply and they are said, permission given for contract basis. How can it be? Where do the teachers go? What is their standing? Some have been given or others have not been given. There's a lapsing of 400 plus posts in Director of Education over 7 to 8 years. Who's responsible for this, Honorable Chief Minister? How can contract staff and trainees under skill development handle complex proposals understanding Education Act rules and other circulars which are in force? Computer subjects under NSQFs is limited to 30 students. सगळ्या भुरग्यांक कंप्युटर शिकोवपाक जाय नाल्यार तूं जाणा सगळ्यांक कंप्युटर घेवपाक जायना एटलीस्ट इफ दे लर्न इट थर्ड पार्टी मोबायल हातीन दिल्यार ते शिकतात पूण मोबायल ना जाल्यार कांय शिकनात स्पेशल चिल्ड्रन there are no permanent teachers for special. They are people who require special care. You have to have continuously. On contract you can't have. TET examinations, Honorable Speaker, TET is a qualifying examination required for appointing teachers. 2 वर्ष जाले TET exam conduct करनात. Why? Counselors, you heard of high rate of suicide in schools. People suffering from depressions. Children running away from schools. Osnat is club. The government of India has come out with something very good, which is early identification, intervention for mental health problems. It's not mental illness, mental health. Book asa. Kitkon korpacho, soglen dakoitat. And if they do this, last, I'm finishing the last thing. If they do it, I think we'll be able to have a better environment for the children. There's one last thing I want to speak about is PhD. PhD guides are not available. We can get professors emeritus to come there, and even part-time attendance should be allowed so that children can go, people can work, and they can also do PhD. And last I want to speak about is COA enrollment. Amge architecture college aha. This, Honorable Chief Minister, I just want you to pay attention to this because last time you had given assurance. This was about architecture college. We had a certain intake which was recognized by Architects Institute. But Goa government took 10 more, I think, in excess of what was there. Those poor children cannot be registered. And it's a batch which is going on for the next 2-3 years.
Already resolved.
Resolved?
Yeah, resolved.
I'm obliged. And the last thing is, one small thing which I want to point out. I think the education department must know something about its own, if an education department cannot have spellings correct, I'm just showing this. There's a new education department building, bathroom doa che buroila, flash before use and after use. Flash moldo to photo che flash. It is flash there. If education department to moitolo bathroom flash kotolo, this is, you please look at this. What if education department is making such silly mistakes, I think it's very sad. And finally, I want to point out our Podwal school in Korzue, amge shada hate. Please pass this on. I'll pass the other copies. The building is leaking. It's leaking through the slab, it's leaking to the tiles. I'm passing this off so that an urgent work, because it's not we bring it to your notice, parents bring it, they are in unsafe environment.